Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and we're still selling out of computer hardware. In the last few weeks, or about a month and a half, we have been having some really tough time getting any computer hardware. This includes the consoles. We've had NVIDIA, we've had the consoles, we've had also AMD CPUs and GPUs, and they've been just selling like hotcakes. I've seen stock online, so I'm not going to say that it was a paper launch because I can go and check, and every once in a while I see stock. Now, I just don't have the cash to go upgrade my old Vega card that I like to upgrade, or even do a whole new system. Maybe next year, if it all goes well, maybe next year I'll be able to get a new system. But a lot of people, I have a friend that wants to build a new system. He's been starting to price it out and go through all the parts that he wants, but he's going to wait for the stock to come in, which is great, right? I think if you have that opportunity to wait, do it. I think that there's these hardware parts that are out with the 30 series from NVIDIA or the 6000 series from AMD on the GPU side. Plus, if you want a console, and that's the really hard part about this. In the console side, a lot of parents and stuff will buy them for your kids, and I don't see that much stock being really pushed out here during the Christmas season. And then you have the CPU side where, if you want one of the AMD, especially the 12 cores, they're just a little bit harder to come by, and they sell out quite fast. So when they get in stock, if you're not on the page or happen to be looking at it at the time or being one of the first there, who knows how big that stock is, and they're gone. So there's a lot of things maybe to blame different companies or whatever else. It's just, I think a lot of it is demand is so high right now that it's, people have been sitting cooped up for a while. And yeah, people probably got, blew through all of Netflix's library already, Disney Plus, everything else. They've watched everything there is out there. And what's the next step? Let's go play some games, right? There's a lot of new games coming out. Cyberpunk 2077, I know a lot of people are excited for that. And one thing you hope for is that hardware's out so that people can up the rigs. Because that's usually when a lot of people upgrade. Is there a big game coming out? I want to upgrade my rig so I can get and play it at this quality settings that I want. Right, I have a 4K monitor on order it's the Eve Spectrum, and to help support them, I pre-ordered it, and I think it's going to be a good monitor overall. We'll see. I will do a review of that once I get it. But for me, I'd love to be able to upgrade my graphics card and take advantage of, that 120 hertz refresh rate on that monitor, and really take advantage of it. But that's going to be a few months down the road, and maybe at that point that's when I look at maybe a new computer, maybe upgrading it. Now maybe even a little bit after it, depending upon where funds are for a computer. So there's a lot of things taken into account here when you upgrade, and with everything being sold out, I think the people don't want to be left out of it, right? People want to, that fear of being left out is there, and people just want to take advantage, and people will take advantage of that, right? So we got scalpers taking advantage of people that just want to have the product. They may have sold their old graphics card and they're waiting to get a new one in so that they can game, and that's a true problem. I'm not going to blame any company, maybe, unless I hear more reports about something where we're going to sell all our chips directly to miners. And I guess there's been a report out there saying that NVIDIA was doing that. Now that's a little bit of, maybe miners would pick them up anyways, but that's a little bit of, hey, let's keep our prices inflated a little bit higher here, and let's keep supply restricted so that we can make more money. And that's really not a great way to go about it here, NVIDIA. Maybe just flood the market and see what happens, and you'd be surprised. Now with the competition coming in from AMD, I do expect a little bit more supply side from NVIDIA, because I don't think NVIDIA wants to give up their market share to AMD. And if AMD has any supply, and I expect more and more supply to come out from AIBs going forward here, and I expect maybe not by Black Friday, but I expect stuff in December to kind of fulfill and start picking up a little bit more from AMD. Now you got Christmas in there too, and the holiday season around there, so that might slow it down. But then early next year, supply should be picking up, especially for the consoles and also from NVIDIA. We haven't heard much from Samsung saying, "Hey, we have an issue of yield rates and everything else." So, where are the products going to? And that seems like a more of an NVIDIA allocation side. NVIDIA likes to keep the prices high, right? NVIDIA got used to that 2080 Ti there for $1,200 in the last round, and now you had to bring that down to about 700 there. So you got a $500 difference that NVIDIA would like to make up, and would like to keep that in their pocket going forward. So how do you raise those prices up? I'm sure NVIDIA is trying to figure that out, right? Over time, you want to raise your prices just so that you can show your stockholders that you have a higher margin. So there's that too that's involved with NVIDIA, AMD, and all these big corporations. Now, on the councils, we did hear Microsoft talk about, hey, this might not be something that you get and we have full stock of in April. So is this a thing where, who knows? I'm guessing that there's probably some of it is TSMC is just packed full of trying to manufacture these things. AMD is trying to allocate what wafers they have at TSMC between the councils for Sony and Microsoft through the Radeon group. You have, the Ryzen parts for desktop, and you have Ryzen servers. You also have the graphic side server. So you got all these things you're trying to balance here with all these wafers, and it takes up a lot of space. And you also have mobile. I forgot about that. And they're all doing really well right now, right? It seems like all the products are selling quite well, and that means that you're putting a higher stress on it because you want more demand. So there's going to be more flooding of that product. Now, is there a way to kind of prevent this? I don't know. The next release, if we keep having, let's say, a higher release every year to 18 months instead of 2 years from two companies on GPU and CPU, demand may not be as high because people may not feel the need to upgrade every year, and people wait a couple generations and then upgrade. Now, if you start going on a 2 to 3 year period where you don't get a product and then you get something out that's, what a 3070 said it was to the 2080 Super, something in there, for what, $500? Well, that's really attractive. Now I feel like I could upgrade for a quite reasonable price, and in that what they've now deemed mid-range, which I don't like. I think the $500 range, I liked it much better when the $500 was the high end, but just for what they kind of NVIDIA's pricing at now, there's that thing where, I'm going to get so much more performance if I upgrade. My games are going to, have an improvement, especially if I want to go to a little bit higher refresh rate, a better screen resolution, or take advantage of some of the features that are on the NVIDIA cards or AMD cards. These are things that you can do, and this is going to create just maybe a more demand in a certain cycle if you're on like a 2 to 3 year window cycle. So I hope that compressing these cycles down, getting them closer. If AMD is going to have another GPU out next year or late next year, another CPU out sometime next year, early 2022 for both the CPU and GPU, that can start getting where people have yearly upgrades or every couple of years, and you won't have everyone upgrading at once. And I think that's part of it, right? We're stuck inside and people want to play games, be entertained, and there's been a lot of games coming out, and there's a lot of games that are going to be coming out here with Cyberpunk 2077 that a lot of people have been talking about. So let's see where that goes. So I don't want to get down too much on the companies. I just want to I wish it was better for consumers, trust me. The biggest problem I have is scalpers, and this is my problem, is the scalpers right now are driving me insane. And it's not because I already have an Xbox One. That's the one thing I got for myself this year, is the Xbox One X here for this holiday season. It won't be a GPU and a new desktop like I like as well, or a PS5. I like to have all of them. I think they're interesting in their own right, and I like to be able to test things and just run games on them because it's fun. I really love technology. That's one thing. I have a whole bunch of technology. I have some old Macs here. It's just I've always just enjoyed technology. So just being able to experience it, is one thing I really like to do, and I also love to talk about it. So, but the scalpers here, what is it? There was one group that came out and they had 3,500 PS5s that they had all got through their network of bots. And this is one thing that I think is making it not only difficult for if you put bots protections in, it's also going to make it difficult for the human trying to get one as well, right? You're trying to go through a computerized program and beat it, right? So your computerized network to be able to defense against the bot has to be up in its game. Well, and a bot kind of acts like a human in certain instances. So when it does that, you're naturally, if you're just going to press F5 on a page that's trying to do bot protection, eventually it's going to say, this is a bot trying to find out if I have stock. So it may block you from it. And I don't really know, because I haven't spent much time in, how would you protect against that now? It, as a software engineer, maybe I will sit down and just think about it a little bit and come up with something that makes a little bit more sense. But I think AMD is trying to do a good job. They've sent that letter out that was leaked out about, hey, protect against bots and trying to get all this stuff. One thing you had with in stores is that you knew it was one person. You could limit one console per person. Done. It's pretty easy. One card per person, one CPU per person. But with so much stuff more supply being directed online versus in the store, it comes up to being, hey, we're gonna need to have more creative ways to do this. Now, I don't think that we should legislate against it, get the government involved, because that never turns out well. Especially here, I mean, maybe your country's a little bit different, but here in the United States, they always butcher it and make it worse. So I don't want that to happen. But there's people fighting back against bots. They're doing certain things. Go out there and do it. I'm not going to condone it or make you feel bad for it. Right? Bots are doing one thing. They're trying to make money, and they have at least one bot network has 3,500 consoles that they are trying to do at least have PS5s, and they're selling to you. I can't remember for how much, but they're doing it for what, double or triple the price of a PS5. So if people are going to try to combat that, good for them. I think that's a good tactic to do. I mean, eventually, if stock comes out, eventually that problem will go away with bots, and who knows how companies are going to try to build up stock earlier in the dev cycle or in the release cycle to make sure that people that want the product will be able to get it, or if it'll go down the road of continue to have bots, or if bots will just become obsolete because maybe Newegg or somebody else thinks of a way, AMD, NVIDIA, thinks of a way to do it, right? Right now, bots are achieving what NVIDIA wants, which is higher prices, right? So, since bots are buying them up and charging higher prices, if we charge higher prices at store or drive up cost, well, guess what? You have a limited supply, and Newegg's going to enjoy a little bit extra profit there. Depending upon where that increase in price comes from. Is it NVIDIA? Is it the manufacturer of the GPU adding board partners? Because, heck, it's costing them so much, they want to make a profit too. Then you have Newegg, the reseller that has a partner. They want to make some money. And then if people are buying them and just reselling them, bots and stuff on eBay, Amazon, wherever, I think they could even do it on Newegg. Well, here it is. So there's a whole bunch of things for watch out for. If people are going to combat it, good for them, right? If somebody wants to resell it, getting a counselor or two and then reselling it for an extra, bit of cash, that's great, right? I even thought about it for my Xbox Series X, except I figure I'd unbox it here on the channel, do a little review of it, and I enjoy it. Just sitting back on the sofa, playing a game here. I can stand up and play a game here at my desk. It's just, with work right here, you work all day, and sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm going to go sit at the console and play. So there's some of that. And who knows, maybe I'll get another desk in the future, split it up a little bit more. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Let me know what your thoughts are. It's just going to be, I wish that there was more stock. It just drives me up the wall. I really feel bad for those people that really want to buy a product, really want to experience the games or whatever they want to play, whatever they want to do, and they can't do it right now. And it's just, to me, it's a shame because, I use technology. I really enjoy technology, right? And it's so that the experience that you have to get something done, to achieve what you want to get done in that point in time, play that game up to what you have the ability to spend or what you want to be able to do with it, is really, it's an experience, and it's a good one. And people not being able to have that and having a, after this whole 2020 of how it's been, it really sucks, right? And I hope people are able to go through it and the supply stuff gets ready. I just don't know with the pent up demand there is, and what I'm seeing. I've seen people get cards, so it's not like they haven't got cards, or CPUs or consoles. It's just the demand right now is just crazy, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I expect this to go into the new year, and the only thing we got is hoping that AMD, NVIDIA, Sony, Microsoft can get more of their products out there that can satisfy the demand, or at least start tamping down the demand enough that when products come in, they're not sold out within 10 seconds. And who knows? Maybe that will come. I don't have any insider information. I've listened to some YouTubers and what they got, and I'm not gonna say, just I'm not gonna blame anybody in this. Really, it's just, well, besides the scalpers. So, if you're, I'd love to learn more about this, the bots and how they're achieving this, especially with some of the new measures going in. And I'd like to learn more about how companies are trying to prevent the bots to do it too, because at some point, as a company, you don't want a whole bunch of people upset at you for not doing anything about the bots either. So I'm sure that there may at some point maybe be a Newegg or an Amazon say, this is how we're preventing the bots. And if you want to learn more, click here and we'll tell you a little bit how we're doing it. And maybe they have a different mechanism or whatever else, or maybe I think pre-orders could have been a huge help in a lot of this stuff too. I know with the Xbox and Sony, they had pre-orders. Now they went out really quickly and everyone bought them up really quickly. However, in those pre-orders, you could, if your lead time is a couple weeks or a month, or like Microsoft and Sony were like a month or a couple months, you have lead times to verify and check out if people are buying multiples or whatever else, if you really wanted to, and to prevent bots. And that's I think it needs to come from a company side to do this, and users have to kind of push more towards it. So it's a multi effort from both sides. But if you do that, I think that's going to be the best fix for this, rather than getting the government involved. Because if you buy a console and you want to sell it, I think you should be able to do it. Now, if you have a whole bunch of bot networks that do this, I have a different view of it. I do like capitalism a lot, but it just drives me up the wall when you kind of, unless I can have it, unless, let's say, Newegg or something has a bot too that says, hey, you set up a bot, and when we get it in stock, you get one, right? And you can figure out a bot that way. Okay, then I'm okay with it. So there's some of that in there where I kind of want the same fair shake at it going forward. I don't want somebody to play on different rules that I can't play on. So with that, let me know what you guys' your thoughts are in the comments below. It's Thanksgiving weekend here, so have a good Thanksgiving, or wherever you're at. Have a good, if you have extra time off, take that. Enjoy your time, because it's getting to the end of the year here, and hopefully you'll be able to get the parts you need to play your games, because I hope so. So with that, I'm gonna go finish up some of this cooking I'm doing here. I got most everything done. I gotta cook some turkey tomorrow, but I got my pies done and everything else. So I've been cooking a lot all day, and well, it's been raining here all day, so and snowing yesterday. So hopefully wherever you're at, you're having some nice weather. Not like me, but enjoying it as well. But until next time, I do want to say God bless. I want to thank you guys for watching and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this. And if you're going crazy of it like I am, or just refreshing pages once a day, twice a day, 50 times a day, just try to find if some new stock is there. So with that, thank you for watching. Until next time, God bless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.